It's time for Stuart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rizacker.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea, heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I want to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Good morning, Stuart, Florida. Good morning, the world. If you're getting this broadcast, maybe it's nighttime, you're overseas, or you're somewhere in the continental United States, I want to welcome you to my show. My name is Dr. Tred Rizacker, and I'm a licensed practicing doctor of chiropractic, and I have chosen to devote my life and my practice to the helping of people to get rid of stubborn body fat, whether it's body sculpting, spot fat reduction, or simply just losing weight. And it's tough out there. I struggled with weight loss for many, many years, and I found a solution. And since I'm a doctor, I was able to document and reproduce it and offer it to the general public, which is a wonderful thing. We've had a lot of success at the Slim Body Laser Spa. I've been there now for going on 12 years in this May of 2022. If God willing, we make it there, I'll be there for 12 years, taking care of over 5,800. That's 5,800 clients that have been through our process, which is 3 times a week for 3 weeks. Many have re-signed for more treatments and more laser services because it really works. It's safe, sane, sensible, gets rid of body fat. Doesn't require any harsh dieting or strenuous exercise at all. And it's available right here in Stuart, Florida. In fact, if you're listening to this somewhere else and you got 4 weeks, you can come on down to Stuart. We can help you out with some boarding and room and board with some of the hotels, get you started on a laser lipo plan, some better eating habits. We even have a hook with an exercise center that'll help get you fit. And in 4 weeks, you can literally change your life, change your body fat, and strengthen your immune system. And we're going to talk about immune system strengthening today. You know, how do you develop a super immune system? You know, that's really, really critically important today because everything is knocking your immune system down, as you know. So how do you develop a strong one? Most people don't know, and I'm going to explain to you, it's the same stuff you learned in kindergarten. You just forgot about it. Okay. My nose is itching. Okay. That's because I'm telling the truth, by the way. So my office is located in Stuart, Florida. It's at 2311 Southeast Ocean Boulevard, and that is right across the street from the Fresh Market on East Ocean Boulevard. As you head out towards the beaches, out towards Hutchinson Island, I'm in a little group of 3 stores. One is the Chef's Table, Carmela's Pizza, and then you got the Laser Spa. So yes, the building that I'm occupying used to be the Haagen-Dazs. For those of you who have been in Florida since the 80s, 90s, it used to be the Haagen-Dazs. And now we've renovated and we've moved all of the ice cream containers out. I saved a few for you ice cream junkies. Not really. But so now it's a spa and we're losing weight. We're getting rid of inches. It's wonderful. It's safe. It's clean. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reviews and testimonials. I have over 650 signed 8x10 testimonials. 450 are on the walls of our spa. It's only 1,900 square feet. So it's packed with testimonials. We have so many testimonials from our clients that want to share their results that we've had to put them in like scrolls on the wall, like you might do at the town hall, where they have all the, papers, 6, 7, 8 deep hanging from the wall. We have one area now where we managed to put another 200 of them right there on these papers. So it's quite overwhelming when you walk in and you see this. And the purpose behind the testimonials was very, very clear. I had a very genuine purpose behind it. And that is, most people will say, does it really work? How can a laser get rid of fat? Does it really work? Well, I could tell you all day long it works. I did it myself. I got some great results. But you need to hear it from somebody else. So when you come into the spa and you see all the results, you will be astounded. And at least you can honestly say, okay, I see that it works, right? It's pretty obvious it works. And what happens is, as they go through the walls, they see people they know. We live in this area. It's a small community. Stewart's, I got 14,000 people live here. Martin County's it used to be less than 200,000, I think, 170 in total, 1,000 residents. So when you go through the Slim Body and you look, you see, there's some teachers I know, people from the banking industry, regular people. And at least it works. So the next question that comes up always is it going to work for me? So, that's where my expertise, my skill, my ability to share the technology, my ability to make it an easy understanding process, and also my abilities to offer the services here in a safe, clean environment, which is super productive and healthy, and it's a wellness center. Yes, it's disguised as a laser spa, but it's a wellness center because I'm the owner and I am all into wellness. So if you're interested, I know there's a lot of you out there in this audience that have listened to my radio program for a long time, and you're always wondering when's the time to come in. I can tell you this month is some super, super specials. Anyone that comes into the spa this month, even if you don't choose to have services in December, you can begin in January. You can come in, have a consultation, determine your plan. And if you prepay in December for your January plan, we give you I can't really say it here. They'll come arrest me, how many visits I'll give you, but we give you almost the whole plan in addition to the first one. Now, you can't split it with your girlfriend. It's only for you, but it is a huge, huge value to come in before January 1st. Okay. And my office, they're there right now. You can go online, drtred.com, slimbodylaserspa.com. You can go to my YouTube account and do a comment there and ask to speak to the doctor. You can give us a call on the telephone, which we still have, 772-223-5885. You can also get in your car and ride down. You could have Uber drop you off. Some of you will come up in bicycles. We have people that ride in from Hutchinson Island on their bicycle to sign up. I have not yet had a rickshaw drop somebody off, but I'm waiting for that. So it's a special place. That's all I can say. And with that, let's get on with it without any further ado. Okay. Immune system. Your immune system is your body's ability. Your immune system is designed to protect you from pathogens, viruses, bacteria, dirty water, rotten clams, salmonella, E. coli, streptococcus. You have a inborn healing system which repairs tissue, expels the toxins, creates environments which are conducive for tissue rebuilding and growth. All that, if you were to try to, everything your body needs to survive and to be healthy is internally within your body. It's an internal mechanism that you don't have. It's not a right. You don't have to have a privilege for this one. It's a God-given fact that your body can heal itself. In fact, your body is the only thing that heals itself. Drugs, surgeries, braces, injections, vaccines, they don't heal the body. None of those heal the body, people. They're not designed to heal. They're designed to intervene in a crisis. You're the crisis. And, it's a lot like my counselor explained it to me many, many years ago, and I never forgot when he told me this. He said, and talking about medications and the things you would get through allopathic medicine, which is, the doctors, the hospitals, the medical doctors, Dr. Fauci's, the NIH and the ADADA and the FDA. These are all companies which create pharmaceutical remedies for symptoms and for crises. That's what they're doing. Things to stop bleeding, things to stop blood sugar, things to speed up your heart, to slow down your heart, things to make you poop, things to make you not poop, things to make you throw up, things to make you hold on to your fluids. On and on and on is what they're doing. They're treating crisis situations. And the taking of these drugs and medications for many of us can be very life-saving. No one's going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that. But it really shouldn't be something that you want to live on for very long. So the way he explained it was a really great little analogy. He said, so, you're at the river, and there's a raging river that you have to cross. You're out in the woods and you get to this big river and oh my God, it's like huge and you can't get across and you messed up. You passed by the bridge where you could walk over very easily. Your family told you to do it, but you didn't want to do it because you wanted to do it your own gosh darn way. And now you're stuck. You got symptoms and you need help. You're at the edge of the river and you need to get across. So you're given a boat by somebody that's there, or you're given a medication by a provider. And it's exactly what you need to get across the river. Okay? To get across the river. Listen, when you get to the other side, you got to get out of the boat. Don't make it your houseboat, bro. It's going to be a really rough ride if you think you're going to live in that boat on the other side of the river. You got to get out of the boat. That's what medicine is. It is a 3-week, 3-month, 3-year to help you overcome symptomatology for the most part, because you're probably screwed up in your diet, your exercise, your body fat, your supplementation. I could go on and on of what destroys your immune system if you'd like me to. I got it right here. Improper sanitation, bad ideas and thoughts in your mind, soul sicknesses, that'll make you sick. You're doing things against God and, you're out there as a pedophile and you're not telling anybody and you'll get very sick. You don't have a purpose-driven life. You got no purpose. People that have no purpose, they get sick. You don't have any skills to recover when you're sick. You didn't really learn any home remedies. Maybe you have nervous system interference, the nerves which control and run your body, which travel through your spine and spinal column and feed all the nerve endings, and that information comes back up to your brain. Maybe that information superhighway has been interfered with. Now, I'm not talking like a knife in the back. I'm talking a subluxation, a minor misalignment between one of the bones in your neck or your back or your heart place. The bone shifted, pinched on a nerve, the pain went away, so you don't know the problem is there, and all of a sudden your end organ, which is supplied by that nerve, starts to malfunction, starts to die. Maybe you had side effects from childhood immunizations. I think there's I just did a post on it. It was over 48 different shots that they want to give you when you're a kid before you're 18 years old. That can create immune system problems because it's bypassing the way the body normally develops immunity. You could be full of poisons from petrochemical poisoning. Now, and this creates toxins and affects the immune system, and it affects the brain transmitters. They're chemicals. They're petroleum-based products, and they collect in your fatty tissue and in all tissue areas. And this can lead to problems. You could have also been somebody who is just a plain old negative, angry person all the time. They have a lot more problems than someone who's happy and easy to get along with. Maybe you've been downgrading your genetics. You've been decreasing genetics. To increase genetics is epigenetics. To decrease your genetics is the opposite. You could even be suffering from a lack of sunlight, regular sunlight. Who would have thought that everybody needs 10 to 20 minutes of full sun on their body? All things considered, if you're next to your neighbor, don't go out there stark naked, cover yourself, but you want to get it on your chest and on your face, at least 10 to 20 minutes a day. And if you're of a darker skin color, you got to bump it up to 30 to 40 minutes a day because your melanin content will not allow the sun to get into the skin through the body. Now, sunlight activates cholesterol, which is in your bloodstream, and it kicks out a hydroxyl atom, and that forms vitamin D. Vitamin D is a necessary hormone/vitamin that brings energy into the tissues. The latest data on COVID death in hospitals has shown that those that are more likely to die from COVID have all had lowered amounts of vitamin D in their bloodstream, in their systems, critically low amounts. And because people of color, African Americans, and they're also more likely to be obese, they have even more of a lower level of vitamin D. So you need to supplement vitamin D, people. Cheap, easy to get. Go right over to the drugstore. I take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. And that's because, and I'm out in the sun all the time. By the way, you're likely to have lower blood pressure and lower body fat if you live closer to the equator because of the sunlight. The higher you go above, I think it's the 36th parallel, which is approximately where North Carolina is, or in California, Modesto up north there. Anything above that, you're going to carry more body fat. Your blood pressure is going to be higher, and you're going to have less vitamin D because you're not getting as much sun. And then you put on your clothes, you put on your eyeglasses, you got your big floppy hat on, then you put sunscreen all over your body, and you wonder why you're deficient in vitamin D. Okay, another one which can affect your immune system is grounding. Believe it or not, there's a lot of research and science which is proving that we need to contact and touch the earth with our skin, because the earth is a huge absorber of energy. It is considered a negative pole. It is, batteries require a positive and a negative pole. So when a battery is fully charged, it's because there's an equal charge between the negative and the positive pole. When the battery starts to discharge, it discharges the positive into a source, such as an electrical instrument. So in our earth, the negative pole is the earth. The positive pole is the sky and the clouds and the atmosphere. And as that charge starts to build up in the sky, in the clouds, it gets dark and it attracts moisture, and a huge lightning bolt comes out and boom, hits the ground. That's discharging into the earth. Well, your body is an electrical instrument. It runs on electricity, chemical energy based electricity, of course, from chemicals which create electrical charges and electrical fields. And all this electricity is traveling into your body, into your organs, into your systems. And also all of food has electrons, and it's just incredible. We live in an electronic universe, and we know zero about electricity when it comes to health. Well, there's a lot of theories that because we're no longer touching the ground for any length of time, we get up in the morning, we put on our shoes, they're rubber soles, so we're insulated from the ground. We never really get our hands dirty anymore because we're not moving, we're not, digging and growing things in the ground. We're not out grazing and, hunting and gathering from food in the ground with bare feet, that we are full of electronical overcharged. And your brain generates electricity, and it goes into the body and expresses itself through your organs. That's a normal function. But what if you were sitting around with fear and anxiety and doubt, and you're developing an enormous amount of electrical charges within your mind? Your mind is a series of trillions of brain cells which are activated when you think of something. It has a charge, and it will hold that charge until you forget about it. But when you keep thinking about the same charge again and again and again and again and again, and then you see it on the TV again and again and again, and everybody tells you again and again and again, you're going to develop a congestion, a fullness, a feeling of, the brain becomes a slave to it. And thus your normal functions, your immune system, your heart pressure, your blood pressure, your tissues, the way your body repairs itself, they're all degraded when you're overconsumed with this fear, these brain cells. One simple way of discharging it is called grounding. Okay? And there's a lot of information on it. I'm bringing these new concepts to you because I want to help you. And you don't have to pay a doctor for this information or have any kind of poisonous concoctions injected into your body to get it. So here's how I ground. At night, when I let the dogs out, I typically have shorts on, and I do have my shoes because I don't like to track dirt into the house. But when I get outside, I'll take the shoes off and I'll sit in the grass, put my feet in the ground, and I'll put my hands to my side and just push them into the ground. And I sit there for at least 10 minutes. Now, you're transferring electrical energy from your body into the ground in a very subtle way. You can't really measure it, but the theory, and it makes sense to me. We were raised on the earth before we had shoes. In fact, they said that rubber shoes were only since like the 50s or something is when they started having all these rubber shoes. The shoes before, when I was a kid in the 60s, they were stride rights. And then I remember when we first got sneakers. Oh my God. Now everybody has got these 20-cent shoes. I'm only kidding. They're rubber based. They're printed from China, and they insulate you from touching the ground. And you can't discharge through rubber. So people that grow their own food, that get into the dirt, that move their hands in it, definitely have stronger immune system than those who have never eaten food or grown it on their own. I mean, they've proven that. So that's called grounding. Here's another one. Photobiomodulation. Now, I explained the importance of sunlight on your body. You want to get this sunlight at least 10 to 20 minutes on your open chest area, legs. But you also want to, in the morning, without looking directly into the sun, don't be a fool here, but you want to get that red and yellow lights to go into your eyes, because within your eye are chromophores. These are little receptors which take that light, and they will activate and turn on and turn off systems which were given to you by your creator, which were based on the rise and the fall of the sun. So, sun's been around a long time, way before we were, and it's going to be here after we're gone, most likely. And your ancestors got up in the morning and they came out of wherever they were sleeping and they looked at the sun, and that created a rhythm, an activation system of sleeping and waking and being hungry and not being hungry and being sexual and when not to be sexual, to turn on and off certain systems in your body. This comes from the big clock that goes around our earth, the sun. They're called circadian rhythms, by the way. I'm not making this stuff up. So 10 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes, I get that sun. I also allow the sun to go into my eyes without looking directly into it, look off to the side, but I'm not covering my face with sunglasses. Now, as the sun goes higher, you don't need to worry about that. It's a different type of sun. It's different light. It's blue light. But then when it goes down in the evening, it's yellow and reds. You want to get back and get a little bit of that sunset. Okay. And this will boost your immune system because it helps all of your systems run like the clock, like they're supposed to. All right. Here's another one. Where you live has a lot to do with your immune system, your health. Okay. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize that people that live in urban areas where close to pollution and close to petrochemical machines that are pumping out fumes and, exhaust, and there's factories and industry close to where you live. Now, maybe you live in an area that the winds are favorable and they push all that stuff out into the ocean. Like in New York, really, because we're on Long Island and Manhattan and the industry is more in Jersey, we have some pretty good air quality there, even though there's a lot of industry. But you go to California, where I did live in San Clemente, and you go into the valley, the San Bernardino Mountains block the flow of air from pushing, from blowing through the area there. And you get this thick level of smog that gets into the LA Valley because of where it's located. If you live in that area, you got more toxins going into your system than somebody that lives on the East Coast. And especially those who live in Florida are even better off because we have water on both sides. We have very few really toxic spewing chemical industries in our area to create the toxins. Yeah, we have cars and we have, boats and things like that, but, minimal amount of exposure to these toxins. So where you live has a lot to do with your health and your ability to have a strong immune system. Food choices. Oh boy, yeah. So you can either choose to eat foods which depover, they're devitalized, they create sickness, they create ill health because they're not really food. They're full of chemicals, they're processed, they're bleached, they're full of sugar. One thing people are getting really aware of is the difference between healthy food and not healthy food. That doesn't mean they make all the best choices because they know they're making bad choices, but the food choices you make will be what create your body. And this is factual. 80% of your physical body is completely dependent on the food you eat. 80%. So do you want to resemble a honey bun donut? Or do you want to resemble a nice piece of fruit, of vegetable? It's not a great example, but I think you know where I'm getting with this. Food is energy for us. We eat food to give us energy so we can burn and work, right? Just like gasoline in a car. You put gasoline in your car so the motor has energy to power you to the destination you go. Now, here's the kicker. The fuel that you put in your car does not rebuild the motor, does it? It doesn't create a better motor. It doesn't fix, it's not created. It didn't build the car. So the fuel just has to get you somewhere. The fuel you eat, the food you choose to put in your body, not only is it fuel for your motor, for your engine, it's also the basic substrates and the chemicals and the enzymes and the building blocks to rebuild your tissue, to build your body. So if you're choosing food which has very little nutritional quality, you are putting in fuel which is simply giving you energy but not rebuilding tissue. And then your body has to get rid of it as toxin. I hope that makes sense. I mean, that's why when I teach nutrition, I'm not going to go through a big list of foods which are good for you and bad for you. You got to figure this out on your own. But I can tell you it's pretty simple. Lean proteins, vegetables, fruits of low sugar. Anything that's a combination of those, good healthy fats. Avocado oils, olive oils, nothing which has been refined. Refined fats are really bad for you. The seed oils, the canola oils, the soy oil, those are no good for you. They're refined. They create toxins in your body. The good fats at room temperature typically will go bad in about a week. That's how you know it's a good fat. You leave it out, and it goes bad because it's real. So if you want to eat foods that give you energy and rebuild the tissue, stick to good plant-based diets, lean proteins, and also there's another kicker here. If you eat too much of any one of those, you're going to put on extra weight, because not only does your body burn the energy that you put into it with food and rebuild the tissue, it also has a mechanism that allows you to put a little extra in case you run out of fuel somewhere down the road. And we call that body fat storage. If you store just a little bit of fat and then you burn it off, and you store a little bit more and you burn it off, and maybe you go a week and put on a little extra, but then you go back and burn it off, you're a very healthy, normal person. It's great. God bless you. But if you're somebody who persistently, continually either eats impoverished food without any life in it, dead food, processed, things in bags, things in frozen. Well, the frozen things aren't so bad because they're getting better at freezing, but processed food is terrible. You're building poisons and tissues, and you don't have any energy. And then you eat things that have high sugar amounts, the sugar junkie obsession we seem to have in America. That's just creating fat straight up. And then you can't get it off. So give us a call. That's what I do. All right. And I try to explain these things to people, all of these different things. So my new, we're putting together a website right now, and the URL is howtodevelopsuperimmunesystem.com. Howtodevelopsuperimmunesystem.com. And it's going to be a website, and it's going to have each one of these features of how to develop an immune system, from weight loss to supplementation to exercise to mind, soul, energy work, prayer, meditation, the risks of immunization and the benefits, detoxification, skills when you're sick, how to recover when you're sick without using drugs or medicine, what nervous system interference is, epigenetic modulation, great areas to live, food choices. And I'm going to bring in experts on many of these topics. I'm an expert on a lot of them, but I don't think you want to hear again. So I'm going to bring in other doctors, other people, and we're all going to collaborate in this website to give you, because kill your immune system. Everybody knows when you're sick. How do you know when you're healthy? That's the key. If I went up to 100 people and I said, "Can you give me the symptoms of a heart attack?" Man, they'd all know exactly. Pain in the chest, on the left side, feels like somebody's elephant on my chest. They know what the symptoms of a heart are. And also, first the pressure goes high. They all know that. What if I asked you, what are the symptoms of a heart which is functioning properly? What can you describe it? Obviously, there's no symptoms because it's functioning properly. But what is it? Most people don't know. So what is the symptom of somebody with diabetes, let's say with high blood sugar, where the pancreas is failing? Everybody knows the symptoms of diabetes because they educate you. Your blood sugar goes up, your excessive urination, you're very thirsty. You're also, you're starting to maybe get some numbness and tingling in your feet from the diabetes. Typically, you're overweight. Now, what if I asked you, what are the symptoms of normal blood sugar? I mean, how do you describe normal blood sugar? Because it's not a problem. So they're not symptoms. Most people don't know. But you are very educated on, well, how do you know if you have a migraine? How do you know if you have a stomach problem? So hear me out on this. Everything in front of you, everything around you that's been created by man and the higher power had to be preceded by an image, a thought of that idea. Like I'm looking at my iPhone 12 right now. Somebody thought about that. Somebody said, if I put graphene and I put plastic and I put these things together and I make a camera, I could make this iPhone. It was in his thought or her thoughts. And then they created it. Just like this table in front of me. Somebody thought about this. I challenge you to show me anything in your physical universe that was spontaneously morphed without a thought, an idea, or an image. You can't. You won't find it. We always accept when we create great things, right? Oh, you should have seen the money I made. I got that at this college. There's pictures of me graduating. Everybody's congratulating me because I did that. I did that. And you did. But let me tell you, developed cancer. And they're like, well, I didn't create that. Well, what, all of a sudden, now you have heart disease? Well, I didn't create that. You know what? It's impossible that you didn't. You did create it. You might not be aware of how you created it or why it happened, but I promise you, there was an image, there was an idea, there was a lot of work creating that disease process or that financial ruin or the issues that you refuse to accept responsibility for as your own problem. And so anything that you can do to learn about normal bodily function, learning about food, learning about, proper weight loss, how to supplement, what a normal functioning, how your feet should feel, what your blood pressure should be, what your muscle tone is compared to your body fat. You are building an image of a healthy person, of a healthy being. You might not have it in your life yet, but you got to think it first. All physical reality is preceded by an image, a thought. And the more you think about it, the more energy you put towards it, the more likely it is to manifest. And if you don't think that governments don't know this, that advertisers don't know this, that globalists or people that want to control people don't know this, you are sorely mistaken. There's a reason why when something comes out about the pandemic or heart problems or diabetes, it's like there's 18 different media groups which seem unrelated. They seem like they're not talking to each other, but every one of them comes out with the same talking piece at the same time. That's because they know that you're fixed on that silly TV or that podcast or that radio show. And if they can have the same idea come through on all those channels, your inductive reasoning, which is how you develop ideas, is inductively. You bring it into your body inductively. And if you see it in enough different unrelated places, there's a little trap door that opens up in your consciousness. It drops into your subconscious. The trap door closes, and your body will express that idea like a computer does when you put a program in it. You think about that. There's two ways to open the trap door to your subconscious, which is the automatic nervous system. An agreement. Hey, I agree with what you're saying. Makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I'll do it. Boop. Door opens up. Boom. It's in the subconscious. Or through fascination. Fascination. You know what fascination is? If you saw me on YouTube right now, you'd see me. My mind's open, my mouth's open, and I'm just staring. Here's fascination. you go to church to be baptized. It happened to me. And you go in there and everybody, the preacher's on a high base. He's up high, right? There's all these children that are standing around these people that work in the church. What are they? The altar boys. So they're very subservient to the boss. This guy comes in. He's got a big robe on, got a big hat that's all the way up, 2 feet high. No, he's a good person. I'm not saying he's bad, but they are developing an authoritative picture. And through fascination, when you're there, you become very vulnerable to whatever they say. And my mom said that when that guy showed up, I was in the church, 3-4 years old. I wasn't baptized till I was 4 or 5. And she said, I was running around making noise until that guy showed up. And I was like, whoa, he got my attention. I did everything he said. Picture yourself going to the doctor's office. Okay, you go to the doctor. Now, remember, you can't rely on your friend for advice. Only the doctor has the advice, so they have that authority. He's got the credentials. He's got the rules, and he shows it to you when you come, or she shows it to you because they're on the wall. They're all listed up there, and you're like, wow. He belongs to a secret group of people that are smarter, have knowledge of things that you don't have. And when you try to claim that you do know, boy, you're practicing medicine. You're full of misinformation. So you got to be very subservient. And you go into the hospital, you go into the office. It looks like a church, for crying out loud. There's big glass walls. There's big poles and pillars. They got a big desk. You got to stand apart from somebody. And then you got to state your name while you're there. And then they put you in a room. It can be cold. They put you in a gown with your butt hanging out, and you sit in this, you're sitting there naked almost, waiting for an exam. And the doc comes in and, it's try asking questions. It's hard. They're giving you the information. If you question it, I remember him questioning I asked him about my mom and why he wanted to do what he did. And he says, you can get another doctor. That's up to you, but I'm not going to answer that question. Wow. And I'm a doctor. He put me in place, man. I didn't say a word to that guy after that. That's fascination. That's how they create the trap door to open. The concept goes in, slams shut, and you produce it. I know a lot about this, obviously. I'm an instructor in this Concept Therapy Institute, and I teach hypnosis. And I teach hypnosis because I realize that we're all being hypnotized. And I want to know how to not be hypnotized. So these concepts, these beliefs are implanted within you through either an agreement. You agree, it makes sense. And that's why having multiple sources of information is so important for an agreement, because you realize if everybody's doing it, it must be okay. And that's how most of these ideas are being pushed into us right now, because everybody says so without really checking it out. Or straight up fascination. And that would be the moving of the watch in front of somebody as they're looking at that watch going hypnosis, and they're watching. Next thing you know, the guy's out cold and he's flopping on the ground like a fish, does whatever you tell him. It's a powerful tool. Anyway, I don't know why I talked about this today. That's something I've been thinking a lot about. If you want to lose 3 to 9 inches of stubborn fat using the newest lipo laser technology, you need to give me a call. 772-223-5885. I will repeat what's going on in this December is if you come in the month of December before January and do a consultation and purchase a laser lipo plan, prepay, we will almost double your plan for you as a gift, and you can start in January. Now, if you change your mind in January, we'll give you your money back. It's a deposit. It's no loss. However, you know what's going to happen in January? There's going to be no room at the Slim Body Spa. I have at least 15 clients that have already prepaid for their spot at the Slim Body Laser Spa coming in January and into February. And these are existing clients that are coming back. They've been with us year after. I've been there 11 years, going on 12 years. They know for them, summertime up north is when they get fat, right? They're drinking, they're having fun, they're going to Jones Beach, they're going up to the mountains, they're being social. Wintertime is when they come down to South Florida and they want to be fit. They got the time to really focus on themselves. And that's very common. You know, plastic surgery is a huge uptick in South Florida in the winter because up north, you know, and down here, they can do the surgery. No one's going to see them. They got healing time to be repair, and it's cheaper. Let me tell you, you know, it depends on where you go, but plastic surgery in Florida is a lot cheaper than up north. Trust me. So this is a great opportunity. If you know somebody that's coming down over the weekend, or maybe you're listening to this online, you're planning on coming down to South Florida, Stuart, and you want to find out, we can also do this completely on Skype. I can do this face to face. I have Facebook, Facebook Live, and I have Skype. And if you set up a time, I'll look at you face to face. We can talk about it. And if you want, and I accept you, you can prepay, and we'll hold that deposit for when you come in January. And if you change your mind, you just let us know. How about that? All right. So I got another, 5 minutes. What do we got, Evan? He's keeping track of me. 6 minutes. All right. I want to go over a little bit from my favorite Association of American Physicians and Surgeons. Now, this is the voice for private physicians. We have been crushed in our opinions. I want to be very honest with you. I've been a chiropractor for 33 years. My dad practiced 50 years before me. Now, the science, the art, and the philosophy of chiropractic at one point was really under attack back in the 50s, 40s, and 50s, and the 60s when my dad practiced. In 1972, the American Medical Association was found guilty of violating the Sherman antitrust laws of trying to discredit, destroy, and create, a monopoly on medicine by destroying through media and through moving into schools, teaching that chiropractic was unscientific and occult. As a result of that, the AMA had to back away. They never had to admit what they did. The judge felt that if the AMA admitted what they did, it would affect people in a very negative way because they might lose faith in medicine. Imagine that. But what they made them do, they made them support chiropractic education and research, millions and millions of dollars of it. And that's called the Foundation for the Chiropractic Education and Research, the FCER. And they also made them put a letter in the Lancet, which is the AMA's journal, of the case and what happened. And they did that. That was in 1970s. My father has practiced chiropractic since 1950. So for him to go from 50 to 60 to 72, he had been criticized, condemned, told he was in a cult for over 22 years. Then 24 years later, I come on the board. Yeah, I come into the situation. And now, I thought that we had reached some kind of agreement with the public and with medicine that, this was okay. And to tell somebody that they could probably not have to take drugs and medicine as often or as much if they do chiropractic, eat better, and exercise, that's a pretty good recommendation, that we would never, ever, ever be not allowed to share that with somebody. Think about that. I never thought they would come after chiropractors. Now, you recommend zinc or vitamin D to somebody in America in a post, and even relate it to a COVID, you're done, man. They take you right off the internet. They can dox you. They can censor you. So the American Association of Physicians and Surgeons, these are doctors that are real people that are very intelligent, that are producing their own knowledge and information because they can't do it through the media anymore. Now, obviously, I'm running out of time to go over this, But if you want a copy of this, this has, in my opinion, much truth, knowledge, and sanity in this world of just take a shot and shut up. Just take another shot and shut up. Don't question, you know. I'll leave it at that. You know, about ivermectin, about how shots are being rationed by race, how organized medicine exposes itself as Marxism, that they don't have any time for the sick, that they tell you to go home. If you test positive, the standard care is to go home, wait till you're real sick and go into the hospital, and then you die on a ventilator. I mean, this is what they're combating. So it's called Americans Associations for Physicians and Surgeons. I'm going to hold it up in front of my YouTube so you can see it. Anybody can join this group and get these newsletters. I highly recommend it. If you'd like the link, go to my website, slimbodylaserspa.com. Tell me you want a link to the AAPS news, and I will set you up. All right. I think we're about out of time, huh? Anything you want to share, Evan?
About a minute and a half.
He wants about a minute and a half. So I am located on East Ocean Boulevard at 2311 Southeast Ocean Boulevard in Stuart, Florida. I'm right outside of Hutchison Island, and I'm across the street from the Fresh Market at the intersection of Monterey and US 1. If you're coming up from Jupiter, it's only about a 20-minute ride. If you're coming down from Fort Pierce, you know, you want to take US 1 or maybe the Ocean Road because it's a lot easier to get here. We have clients from Vero Beach, Okeechobee, Jupiter, down in Palm Beach. We've been blessed with enormous amounts of people that have come in. You know, I have a brother and a sister that practice in Jensen Beach at a Better Life Chiropractic Center. So if you're interested in finding out a good chiropractic referral, give me a call. I can do that too. My brother-in-law is a superstar, Dr. Bill Widener, Widener Family Chiropractic, and he's over on Osceola. And I know Dr. Jerry True, who is the leader in deep tissue therapy. I can help. I so much appreciate you listening, and I will see you next week. God bless. Bye-bye.